and you don't have to live a low vibrational life. How powerful you truly are, how powerful your mind really is, what society is building a matrix of. Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to my channel. Hi, if you're new here, my name's Andrea Johnson, Reiki master, teacher, and practitioner, energy worker, and spiritual lifestyle content maker. Hello, if you are new. Welcome to our Good Vibe Tribe. Today, I'm doing another episode of Conscious Coffee Talks, where I like to sit down and discuss with you beautiful souls a topic to help you expand your consciousness. So I've got my coffee and we're gonna dive right into today's topic, which is how to break free from the matrix. Oh my gosh, there's just smoke everywhere. Hold up. That might not have been a good idea. So in this video, I'm gonna go over what the matrix is, how I woke up from the matrix, and then how what I like to call live with one foot in both doorways, meaning being woke in said matrix. So with that being said, let's dive right in. I'm gonna read a quote from a book that I read, and it's called Conversations with God, and it was an extremely powerful way to describe the matrix. I think it's gonna shift a lot of people's consciousness and how they view it. It says, the crisscrossing, intermingling, intertwining energies racing between everything that you call physical is what holds physicality together. It sends signals, meanings, healings, and other physical effects created sometimes by individuals, but mostly by mass consciousness. When enough of these like frequencies clump together, their vibrations become heavier. They slow down and they become matter. So thoughts create physical reality. When more people, like a collective consciousness, such as the human race, are thinking the same thing together, it's more likely that we can create a reality around those thoughts. That's kind of scary and kind of cool at the same time. This is why when mass groups pray together or pray for somebody, it has such impactful power behind the healing. So as humans, we are actually co-creators with the matrix or with the energy of the matrix, because ultimately we're tied into the oneness, because we are this one consciousness basically playing a game with itself in this reality, right? Just experiencing itself subjectively, getting to know itself through action and creation. But ultimately from this, I do believe that there are two matrices we basically break ourselves free from. One being the collective human consciousness, which is a set of energies that we create as humans. We create our own matrix as a society together. Think of like rules and laws and religion, politics, deeming things from right and wrong. You can also think of like the American dream, go to school, college, get a job, you know, the corporate 9 to 5. It's all programming, and it's part of what our matrix is. It's just a set of ideas. And then when we are birthed into the world, we ultimately inherit some of this programming, just depending upon what our parents are programmed with, what society we're born into, the communities that we're involved in, our location, heritage. That all plays a very big role in our individual matrix that we create ourselves. So that's where I see that there's always two, is because you have the collective of the world, pretty much, of humans, and then you have your own individual one you build. The matrix is a set of basically ideas about yourself that you develop from your environment combined with your experiences in life and what you decide who you are. It's basically thoughts. I kind of think of the matrix as like this box. It's almost like this box of ideas and energy that you basically like put yourself in, right? And breaking free from it is just realizing this programming isn't truly you. You either choose to agree with it or you don't choose to agree with it, but you become conscious of your actions and your decisions, and you recognize them as your own and not your programming. Thoughts and actions are usually influenced by the mass consciousness, right? So we are programmed with like what is right and what is wrong, how to act, what we should be doing with our lives, what is considered successful, what is considered not successful. All of these things are programmed within us, and ultimately we are the creator of our own universe, which is you in this body, is a universe, and you get to decide consciously or unconsciously what you are in this matrix. Breaking free is just realizing that what you are not. It's shedding down to your true nature, which is your soul. You are only as limited as you think you are by the matrix. So now that you know what the matrix is, let's talk about how I woke up from the matrix, just to give you guys a brief idea, just to see maybe if you guys ever have gone through the same thing or might be going through it right now. Like I said before, I believe there's two matrices you wake up from, one with being the human collective, and two, your own that you've chosen to basically box yourself in, right? I want to call it kind of the ego. It's who you think you truly are. I think everyone's going to be different in which way that they wake up. But for me, I can't decide yet if it was caused by a spiritual awakening or if a spiritual awakening was caused because I started to realize life had patterns. Either way, I had a spiritual awakening from the realization of the matrix. I realized that what I was doing in life, like what I was following, what I like to call just the American dream, of like you go to school, you get a good job, you get married, you have a family, you know, buy a house, whatever. It wasn't fulfilling me. I was always like unsatisfied, and the reason I thought that I was unhappy was because I was like, I just got to get to that next thing, right? I just got to get to that promotion. I just got to get married. I just got to buy the house. I just got to start the family. And the biggest eye-opening moment for me was understanding that I was never going to be satisfied with all these external things, with all these things that I thought were supposed to make me happy weren't. And I knew if I kept going, I would never truly be satisfied in life. And so it's what caused me to really go within, because it just did not make sense to me. There had to be more to life than waking up every morning, going to work your corporate job, coming home, eating, watching TV, sleeping, wake up, repeat, and living for the weekend. That's depressing. I knew there was something more to life. I could not accept that cycle being the rest of my life. It really forced me to go within, because if my external world, no matter what I did to change it, wasn't making me happy, I had to go within to figure out why I wasn't happy and what I truly wanted out of my life. And from that, I found a whole slew of things that led me further and further and further into a spiritual awakening. I started to actually realize what was my own thoughts, where I had been programmed at from birth, what I had been programmed with traumas and life experiences that I've held on to. I got down pretty much to the core of just consciousness, what I truly was. And when I experienced that through meditation, through energy work and psychic work, and through working with others in energy work sessions, and then deep shadow work, journaling, like all the things, guys. But truly the things that really helped me the most was energy work, working with others and seeing it affect their life, and psychic development. Those things truly opened my eyes to what the world actually is and what we actually are, because I experienced it inside my body physically. Anyway, we're getting off topic here. When you ultimately go through the spiritual awakening and you break down all of your programming and you wake up, you actually break down your ego layer by layer. When you're breaking down the ego, you start to realize that all you are just a collection of ideas and thoughts. What you truly think you are is just a thought, energy, all held together by your conscious thought, by your intention, by your mind. But the cool thing is we are gifted the mind of God, creator, with the intention, which is what holds together all of our thought, creating what we think we are. So we get the conscious or unconscious choice to actually determine who we want to be, what energies we literally allow inside the body, what we keep inside the body, which eventually, like, what we pretty much identify ourselves as, because those become our actions and our habits, and we get to determine what energy leaves the body. So we can literally change ourselves as a person overnight. It's not that easy, but it's very doable. So how to live in the matrix, living with one foot in both realities is what I like to call it. Even though you're awake, you know all these things, that you are this infamous being, not a human, of just the universe in a body, an unlimited being, but you're limited by your physical form in the matrix. So how do you live with one foot in both doors? How do you find the balance of the human experience? Let's face it, you know, even if we are awakened, we all have to live by society's rules. We have to live with people who are still sleeping in this game of life and play with them as nice as we can. Not many of us can really afford to live off grid and provide for ourselves. What do you do when you have to abide by or play in society's matrix, being woken? So I know for me, what has really helped, the first thing is pursuing my passions. This was huge, and it was part of my spiritual awakening because it ultimately led to my passions. I would have never figured it out otherwise had I not woken up, because I just would have thought whatever society was feeding me, my programming, I would have thought that's what I truly wanted, but because I was miserable, it wasn't. So that's the soul telling me that there's a misalignment here. I found my passions and I started pursuing them, and it did actually take some work to do so because there was a lot of fear around actually doing the things that I wanted to do. So this personal development comes in. I highly encourage, if there's something you are passionate about, even if it's not your full-time job, make time for it. I still work a corporate 9 to 5, and I make time for my passions because they are important. They give me life. They are God coming through you. Literally, a passionless life is a life without God. You have to have this energy flowing through you for the soul to feel fulfilled. Passion is a huge part of the human experience. It's a beautiful energy. It's really the energy of creation if you think about it. So the next thing that I do is I make time to get in touch with my spirituality. And you know, you may not be spiritual, but you may be religious. You can still break free from the matrix and realize, you know, programming around the world, and still have a religious practice, and it still fulfills a spiritual space for you. I make time for myself. I like to go hiking. I do this with camping. Camping is like a little vacation, being out in nature. Plus, it's really good for your physical body. You get healing energy from it as well. But you can also do things like your passions. It really does help you get in touch with yourself spiritually. You can meditate. I try to do that daily, just because it is quieting down the thoughts, and you're separating yourself out from the thoughts, and you're able to more realize what is fear or what is serving you and not serving you, so you can make a conscious choice to either pursue it or don't pursue it. And it's just a good little reminder of what you actually are and just what our world truly is. I also do it through exercise. It's just kind of like exercise is where my mind just goes wild with all these ideas. So I love to walk, I love to run, I love yoga. It puts me really, really in touch with my body. Those are just some ideas. Ultimately, make time for yourself to be with yourself. So the next thing that I suggest is experiencing new things. Now, there are benefits to having daily habits and routines, but it's really beneficial to break free from your routine, because it almost is like a little reawakening is what I kind of feel from it. The soul is going to want to experience something new. And when you break free from routines and you do experience something new, it opens up more doors and opportunities for you. Things that couldn't have come into your reality otherwise, because you were just kind of in this little energy grid, I call like a routine, that you just, you box yourself in. But there is benefits to it, because you can get things done this way if you have goals. But breaking free from the routine every once in a while, like meeting somebody for lunch that you normally don't meet, calling a friend, or going and experiencing something new, like trying out a new restaurant or going to a museum or stuff like that, activities. So it's really, really important, I feel like, and has really helped me experience and also opened up doors for me had I had not, like through people, like meeting new people that have opened up opportunities for me that I wouldn't have got had I not made a decision just to stray from my routine. One of the things I kind of talked about too was daily habits. When you become woke, you're more conscious of your habits and how they create your reality. So you can choose to then align yourself with energy or habits that will assist you in what you want to achieve in life. So I understand what actions and thoughts serve me and what don't serve me, and I get myself back into alignment whenever I am out of alignment. And I take discipline to take action on the things that I know I need to do. Now, there are some times when I'm not always disciplined, and I recognize that, and I show myself love and gratitude when those times happen. I'm not hard on myself when I don't meet my own expectations, because I try not to hold any expectations, because that just leads to disappointment. All it is just moving forward in life. The last thing, and probably the biggest thing I feel like, is I am conscious on what I consume. This is huge. You are everything that you consume, body, mind, spirit. The human body is just a vessel. It is just a tool that is designed to harness energy. And you get to decide what energies stay in here. And you get to decide what you are. Now, our environment can heavily influence our energy because we share energy. We become those who we are most around. So if you have to surround yourself with like-minded people that can really enhance your energy. If you have goals, you have to be careful about what you consume with food, because you become what you eat, literally. All food holds a vibration, and it is supposed to be used as medicine. Things like processed foods, alcohol. I'm not saying like to totally just be perfect, because we cherish these things, because a lot of relationships are built upon with the sharing of these things, but it's not something to be abused. You can use it as medicine and change your inner vibration just by choosing better foods to eat. And you'll feel most of the time when you change your foods and your diet and what you consume, your life is going to start to change, and your emotions are going to start to change, and the way you think will start to change. I really do think that food, exercise, and what you consume and your content is, meaning like social media, what books you read, they heavily influence who you are, who you think you are. Those are my biggest ones that I like to become conscious of what I do. Now, I'm not saying I'm perfect in them, but I understand the impact it holds. And working with the energy work with other people, being so in tune with my body and feeling the shifts of how these things affect me, have really opened my eyes to just how much these things basically are us. These are all energies we consume and hold on to, and they become us. But you can change that. If you don't like it, you always have the power to change it. And I think that that's the biggest thing I want people to take away from this video, is ultimately, yes, we live in a matrix. We really do. It's energy, it's consciousness. It is basically a box of limiting beliefs, pretty much, ideas. And even though we live in it, your life is still your responsibility. Even if you feel like you're a victim to these things, if you feel like, life isn't your fault, if you don't like something in your life, you ultimately have the power to change it. It's only you, and it's your thoughts. I'm not saying that it's easy, because it is definitely hard to break away from who you think you are and to take responsibility for your life. But ultimately, you have that decision, and it can be done. There are millions of people around the world who have done it. That's what I really hope you guys take away from this video, is how powerful you truly are, how powerful your mind really is, what life really is, what society is building a matrix of, and you don't have to be part of it. To be a free thinker, and to really, truly, and freely, lovingly live in alignment with your soul and create the life that you want to live. I'm sure you're going to have more lives, but at the same time, you're in this one right now and experiencing right now, and you don't have to live a low vibrational life. You can live a life filled with love and joy and abundance. You just have to create it internally first. All right, guys, I think that's all I had for this. I really hope this helped you out. I hope I got my point across and didn't confuse anybody, and hopefully I hope it expanded your consciousness. So with that being said, cheers, my friends, and I will see you in the next episode. I'm sending you all of my light and all of my love. We'll see you.